What's going on, guys? JPA here, and we're going to be going over what we looked for in this week's SPY play, kind of why we took the premiums on the option, and just how to kind of get a little bit better at trading in general. So, before we get started, I just want to say thanks for everyone for watching. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. It means a lot. So, what was the play that we're going to go over? We're going to be going over this November 18th 395 SPY call we bought on November 17th at 9.56. We also bought again kind of a little bit after for 80 cents. So we had like a buy at $1.80. And so what happened and what did we see? So I'm here on TrendSpider in the 10-minute view, just saying, it looks like there's a lot going on when you look at shorter time frames. So shorter time frames, they're nice for kind of intraday moves, but if you really want to do like some longer term swings, some bigger thoughts, you kind of want to extend your time frames. So, like as you can see, if you're looking at 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, you're going to see here's that November 17th candle here. Here's where it dipped down. So, well, what's going to exactly keep this from going, I don't know, maybe all the way down to where this gap up was at 385? Because it doesn't look like you have any support here. So, this is where it's kind of just it's better to start looking at some of your higher time frames. So 30 minutes, you'll see a little bit more areas building, and then 90 minutes is another good one. So you can see kind of, oh, there's more building. And then one I like to use a lot when I'm trying to spot reversals is just the daily, like, hey, what happened and what can I use? So here's our daily candle. So here's November 17th, and there's the low. You see it's going to pop up right there. So here's our low of 390.14. Well, let's see what happened over here. So we hit a high on November 1st of 390.39, and then we have another one here, another high of 389.52. And if you notice, and I might be able to show you this in the, if I go in the 1 minute, I might be able to find the exact time on the 17th. It's going to be a little bit of a pain. But at 9:56, SPY was trading at about 390.5, which is very similar to, spoiler alert, the high of this daily candle. And of course, with TrendSpider, you can kind of draw a little bit, kind of make your own zones and say like, hey, I think that this area here is, you see a lot of peaks. So you like 388.4, 388.6, 390.39, 389.52. So obviously it was a bet on this candle, the 390.39. So all these daily highs and lows can act as pivot points, and in indexes especially, they tend to work really, really well. Like, hey, here's some areas of interest where people said, I don't want to buy anymore. If at 390.39, it's too expensive for me. I don't want it anymore. I want to start selling out. And same thing, the low of the day there at 383.29, they say, this is too cheap. There's money to be made here. I need to buy something. So all these daily closes and daily highs and lows can all make interesting levels, and you can keep scrolling out further. Like here's probably 389.3. Like you can keep zooming it out and seeing where there's kind of an accumulation of those pivot points and say, okay, here's a pretty strong support and resistance zone that I can take advantage of. And then just getting back to, I said I'd also explain to you guys how I choose my strike prices and kind of avoid theta burn. So let's go and switch kind of back to the 90-minute view just so we can get a better look at what's happening during the day. So last couple of days of trading, don't want to go back a month, just want to look pretty immediate term. November 18th, which is today, we saw it go up to 398. We bought on the 17th, but on the 15th, which I can't pop up my calendar there, but a few days ago, so what was that, Tuesday? All the dates are a blur. It was already 397. We did see it go to, on just one wick up in the morning, 401. So you say, well, why didn't you just buy a 400 call for like 20 cents and let it go to, have the opportunity to go to, I don't know, $1 again at the end of the week when it gets there? Well, it's because that 400 move got sold, and the broader view of SPY, and I've drawn this chart before, just on our daily view, zoom out, you can kind of see that there's a lot of these descending lower highs going across. So it's going to be hard to argue, hey, it's going to keep going up and up and up, higher and higher and higher. So it's foolish to kind of think, well, on no news at all, we're going to retake the high that was made earlier in the week on some good news. So you want to be looking for an option contract that can go in the money without having to have the best case scenario happen. Like, you don't want to just barely make it in the money at the end of the week, because what's going to happen is you're going to get chopped around until that move comes. Like, same thing. We'll go back to the 10-minute view of this SPY call. 397. So we essentially, from 9:30 until 11:30, you had 2 hours where nothing happened really. So if you're in those way out of the money contracts, theta is really going to chew you away. If you're in those 0-day expiration contracts, theta is going to chew you away. And that's kind of why I tend to stick to longer. I want at least a day and a half in SPY. I'd prefer to have like 3 days, probably is my ideal time frame. And then same thing with standard stocks, Apple, Microsoft, what have you. I'd rather have that full week so I can capture that move that happens. Because, I mean, you can see 390 to 398, that's better than catching the 0 DTE move. You get a 390, goes to 392. Even if you get a 200% move, these options ended up going 80 cents to $3.50, so 400% move basically. And you're not sweating it, and you're more willing to put a little bit more capital in. You don't want to be in a situation where you're just like split-second decisions. You have to be perfect. There's zero room for error. There's some traders out there that can just really technical expertise and really just fine comb, and they can go in and get their 20 and 30%. I always like to say I have the precision of a sledgehammer. So I just want to work a system that doesn't require precision, and it gives me some room for error, because I mean, it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you trading is easy. I'm not going to say like, oh, if you follow this one method, you'll get there. But you want to give yourself as much wiggle room as possible to set yourself up for success. No one's going to be an expert right away. And when you are an expert, you could make a cool YouTube video and I could be learning something from you. So everyone kind of has their own level of expertise and mastery. Don't get discouraged whenever things start to go against you. So with that, I think I looped. I'll show you the play. So we got over our 300% gain here when that gap up happened, and now it's just simply a bet on. I kept it at the end of the day. It was monthly option expiration for OPEX. Bears have been they saw the same thing, the lower downtrends the whole way through. They just want to keep saying, hey, how can I grab more of this downside? They're all waiting for the downside. But what's going to happen is bears are going to feel like, okay, it's going to keep going higher because it gets over 400 or something. It's probably going to go a little bit higher than that. Bulls will be like, this is it. The bear market's over. And then before you know it, bam, we'll start heading back down. So just kind of little last nugget of information for you if you stuck around all the way to the end of videos. I'm thinking that 400, 410 range is where we're going to see our next pullback. So we'll see what happens. As always, thanks if you follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube. You guys and girls are all awesome. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks for watching.